Good morning and welcome to the Trading the Tech Show for Thursday, September 17th, 2020. So, hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm back now. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's take a look at some charts. This particular account is giving me some trouble here. So, I think I'm going to switch over, see if I can find another one that's working a little bit better. Um, we did have our rate announcement today at 2 p.m. Eastern time out of the United States. So that gave us some movement in the market. So we finally freed ourselves up a little bit and we're able to kind of start moving around. So we're going to take a look and see if we can see some activity and what that's kind of looking like, what it's shaping up our markets to kind of look like tonight. Let's see here. I don't know. Every time I start this Zoom, just I think it starts to eat up some RAM, and then I can't use my chart. So we're gonna try to see if we can get something going here chart-wise. Let's see here. Yeah, that's just our meeting controls. Let's see. Maybe we can close this out. It's just working. I was just actually clearing some of the old charts and things, just clearing some of the fibos that we had because of the movement in the market that we got, subsequent to our rate announcement. Most of them didn't apply anymore because we've got new highs and lows. So this was working a couple of minutes ago, and now it's definitely not working. So um, not good, not good. So let's see if we can get this to kind of move around here a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Let me hide this a little bit. Let me hide our meeting controls. Okay. See if that helps us to move around up here a little bit. Let's see here. I do apologize for the wait. Let's see if we can get this to free up maybe one of the accounts here. I'll close the other ones and see if we can get this to work for us. Oh, that's my Zoom meeting. Something's not right here. Something's missing. Okay, here we go. Let's see. No, let's leave that one open. Let's go ahead and maybe close this one here. Let's end that. You can see it's hitting my CPU at almost 100%, so that's definitely not good. So I think that's holding us up a little bit. Let me close this one too. And once we do that, hopefully that will free up enough resources where it's going to allow us to actually move around a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, I think that did the trick for us here. I think we're just using too many resources on my old little laptop here. Okay, so for the Aussie CAD, we're on the hourly chart here. We can see that we had this move to the upside. We've been kind of stepping up every day to the upside. And then as of yesterday or, yesterday's news, we kind of fell here. And we're pretty much in a range. If we take this line, like this trend line, and draw it, we've been kind of within this particular range for a while. Okay, that did not do what I wanted to do, but we'll fix that here in a second. Just kind of landed in a place I didn't want it to be. Let's see if we can drag it down just a little bit here. Okay, see if it's going to cooperate with us. Okay, here we go. This is more in line with what it is that I was trying to do here. And then let's grab this. Let's do it one more, and then we'll put this across the tops here. So you can kind of see, I mean, it's just rough. Okay, it's not perfect trend lines, but it's just rough. You can see that we've kind of got this trajectory to the upside. So we've fallen here to the bottom trend line pretty much. It's not, we haven't pushed past the trend line and stayed below it. We've actually always just kind of retreated back above the trend line. So this is telling me that we may actually continue to the upside here. we maybe just got a little bit of a reprieve. So I'm maybe going to play. If I'm going to play here, I'm going to look for a Fibonacci retracement to the upside here. That kind of makes sense. So maybe I draw it from this high here. I could probably use this low, this green low here as well, since we don't have a full signal, but you know, typically we're going to trade the full signal. But as you can see, we do get these what I call like a half signal, and we can actually trade those as well. So, you know, for the Aussie CAD, then I'd really probably be looking for us to rebound to the upside. For the Aussie yen here on this 1 hour chart, you can see that we came down here. We didn't quite break the low, the previous low that we had down here below 76, 76.10 or so. We actually came around here, and now we're stalling right around the 76.40 mark. So there might be a little bit of room to the downside. We might actually continue on down here and test a little bit more. But if not, we can actually play the Fibonacci from this high here to this low. So our 23.6 is going to be a little bit of ways out in front of us. So if we're going to move that direction first, then it's going to be a pretty decisive decision to move back that direction. So that's what we want. But right now, if we look at the Aussie yen, we're looking at a 2% drop, 2.14% drop for the month. For the week, we're down 1.13%. So, you know, don't be surprised if this goes lower and you have to actually revise your Fibonacci retracement. Let's look at the Aussie New Zealand. For the Aussie New Zealand, we did have this nice candle that bumped up here not too long ago, but it was kind of in a downward trajectory. So we've got our turnaround signal here, our reverse signal here. So if I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this from the high here to this low. And you can see we already actually even clipped the 50 here. So we went through the 23.6, the 38.2, and we clipped the 50. And normally we don't get these turnarounds or these moves back in like a straight line, but this basically was one candle actually, you know, eclipsed the 50. So if I'm going to get in, maybe I'll get in at this 38.2, but right now for me, I'd probably say, okay, it's too late. We don't know what it's going to do from here. But the expectation is that it will continue higher so that we can get a signal for a sell signal, okay? Now on the Aussie US, we see that we still have that precipitous fall too. How long was this? This is about, we're up here around 73.45 or so, and then we have a low about 72.61. So about 80 pips drop, right? So if we draw the Fibonacci from top to bottom, our expectation is this. You know, our 23.6 is going to be at 72.82. And then our 38.2 is going to be at 72.94, just about 12 pips higher than that. And then we've got our 50 and our 61.8 as reference points for our profit. Let's take a look at the CAD yen. Now on the CAD yen, you can see that we've got kind of this trajectory to the downside here. We even had this dip. It did reverse itself, but it went right back kind of into this channel and just continued on down. If we go, you know, and put our trend lines in here, we can see that most of the trades are happening between the trend lines, right? Until we finally break out. So let's see, we can draw another one here. It's kind of happening in this fashion here. Let's see, we can probably pull this down because it doesn't look right for me. Okay, good. So let's do this. We're gonna pull this down to the tops of the bodies here, maybe tops of the wicks. And this is kind of the channel that we're in, but we're actually broken out of that channel right now. So we're kind of getting away from it a little bit, but I would expect it to snap back at some point into the channel. So that's, you know, where we might play, you know, some type of reversal strategy on that. Other than that, we could draw an extension and continue on from here. Right now, for the month, we're down 2.12%, and for the week, we're down 1.39%. For the day, we're down almost 0.25%. So we're definitely headed to the downside on the CAD yen. Now, on the Swiss yen, as we look, we see that we are coming around to test this level once again, this 115 level, and we're here again. So we've actually made it all the way there. It remains to be seen whether this is going to actually break the level or if we're going to get a reversal. If we're going to get a reversal, we're going to go from our top signal to our bottom and get our numbers for the reversal. If for whatever reason this does not break the previous level, the previous low, then at that point, somewhere here along support, we're going to start heading back the other way, and it might be feasible that we do hit our 50 target at least, or maybe our 61.8. So this would kind of almost be like, you know, a bounce trade, a bounce in the other direction, right? On the Euro Aussie, we are kind of headed down, but now we're a little bit confused because you know, we just seem to be kind of trading off to the right here in a very, very tight channel. So we're going to see what happens here after this big move down. I have, you know, feeling that it may want to actually retrace. So if we run the retracement, we can run it from this high, or if you want to run it from this one, that's perfectly fine. We're going to be pretty much close to around the same entries. And then the entries are always the same, right? The entry and the exit is easy to manage from there. It's just a matter of really being patient with it. All right, let's take a look at the EuroCAD. On the EuroCAD, if I'm playing this one, I see that we got this big precipitous drop down, and then we've kind of come up and consolidated from that. But we're getting lower highs kind of there, and then, you know, maybe some higher lows. So I think that we might actually retrace this particular move. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it from the high to the low point, and that sets up the trades that I've got for, you know, my trade strategy, you know, for my fibber retracement. Let's go over here to the Euro Swiss. On the Euro Swiss, we've kind of been moving to the downside here. We got a little bit of a break and reprieve on a trading to the right here, and then we actually fell again. So I don't have a lot out here that's going to stop that fall. So I think that we continue on down. If I was to do anything, maybe I would do instead of a retracement, I could always do an extension as well. Here it's called an expansion. So if you went to tools and then you go to your indicators, or you go to the bottom of your tools, I believe, it's going to show you the ability to do an expansion trade, you know, or set up an expansion Fibonacci that's going to show you levels that the trade may go to. Let's go here to the Euro Pound. Take a look here. Oh, that's a little late, but yeah. So on the Euro Pound, we can see that we kind of had this fall again. We definitely had a nice fall yesterday in the Euro Pound. So this big move up has almost retraced itself, right? So it's almost, we've almost got all these pips back, you know, just for being patient. But it's sputtering out a little bit here. We don't know if it's going to continue on down. If it does, then wonderful. We can do an extension on it. I'll go ahead and draw that in so you can see it. Let's go to insert. We're going to go to Fibonacci. Then we're going to go to the expansion, right? Some people call it extension. Some people call it expansions, right? So if we go from top to bottom here, then we see that our levels show up for an extension. So this is trading in the same direction. So our trend is to the downside. So we'd be looking at whether or not we're going to just trade to the downside. Now we do notice that for the month on this pair, we're up 2% basically. And then, but for the week, we're down 1.62%. So this week, we've almost given up that whole, you know, everything that we've were up for the month, right? But right now, the month, we're up 2.03%. So as we come down here, if we break this area here of support, if there's not a whole lot going on, I'd imagine that we could continue to the downside. And the extension is going to show us maybe some areas where we might profit. Here's a 61.8 again. Okay. If you want to add more lines to that, you can add different percentages too, if you want to update how the Fibbo is looking and how it's running. So looking at the Euro Yen here, we got a precipitous fall here. We were talking about a possible retracement trade here, but you know, through the last couple of days, we've just fallen out of bed here. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can remove this particular one, this particular Fibonacci, because obviously that is no longer any good for us. So let's go here to my objects. I'll find my Fibbo. I'm going to hit delete, and it should go away. And it's not. Okay, good. All right, there we go. We got it to go away. So now I've got a high and I've got a low. So I really could do a Fibonacci retracement here. There's not a whole lot of precedent for what to do on the downside based on, the last month or so. So we've passed through this area almost without, too much fanfare in this area between the 50 and the 38.2, and then we just continued on down. So I think the move continues here. We might do an expansion here and then head for the 61.8 and see what happens. For the Euro New Zealand, let's take a look at that. Uh-oh. Something else decided to pop up there for a moment. But yeah, so let's see. Hopefully this Euro New Zealand will switch pages for us here. So anyway, with these Euro Yen, we'll kind of wait on that. With these Euro Yen, we could also play the retracement to the upside. I mean, it's a possibility as well. This is a Yen pair, so it can be pretty volatile at times. So if the inflow of money is coming into the Euro and risk is basically on, then the Yen is going to suffer for that. And so we might actually see the Euro rise against the Yen. Okay, so our Euro New Zealand decided to kind of come hang out and, come to the party with us. We do have a high here back on the 10th of September. We've got our low that developed yesterday on the 16th. And so we can actually play this for an extension or for a retracement. This is a very doable trade, very simple to set up. And I love it because you don't get involved in the trade if you don't have to. Unless, or unless you do something physically by hand to get into the trade, like entering an order, you don't typically have to get into the trade directly on a market order. You're going to get in as the market moves in your favor. All right. So that's what we kind of want to practice doing, is looking for opportunities like that. So right now, I'm not sure. I don't know why it's not drawing for me, but you don't understand. We're going to draw from this high to this low, and then our entries are going to be the same, right? So the system is just a little bit slow, so we're going to kind of bear with that at this moment. We're going to take a look at the Euro US right now and see what happens there. See if it switches over for us. I think we're getting some news tonight. I normally don't do the news, but since we're kind of waiting, we'll take a look at it. We do have an interest rate decision out of Japan too, so that might affect the market just a little bit. Even though the interest rate in Japan doesn't change a whole lot, sometimes it's been negative. Right now, it is negative as well. Looks like the consensus was negative 0.1%. And it did come in at negative 0.1%. That's pretty much where it was before. So, so that's going to push the yen pairs around a little bit, I'm sure, and influence the way that they move. So we've got a nice high signal here, and then a nice low signal here on this Euro US. So I definitely would say utilize those to draw your Fibonacci. You already know how to do that, of course, because you've seen it a number of times on the show, right? So it's very simple. It's very simple to draw. You're just looking for the last point that was high, the last point that was low. And then, we go from there. Now let's see if we can get the pound Aussie to cooperate and come on over here. Let's see. Just maybe need to reboot this machine maybe after we finish here. Doesn't really have storage issues or anything like that. It's just, I think it's just a little bit older. It's like 5 or 6 years old at this point. So, and I bought it strictly really to do some things with Forex, but then as my other laptop kind of, had some issues, I started doing a lot of things on this laptop. So everything kind of runs through it. So it's important, of course, that it runs correctly, and efficiently, which right now it's not proving to do. So let's see here. Well, anyway, I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I don't want to waste your time because we're just really, really slow. I'm not going to, push the class too much here tonight. But that's the way you should be going through your charts. We've done a number of charts. How many do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 to 13 charts we've already kind of went through. We kind of analyzed a little bit for Fibonacci retracement type trades. You can actually draw those. I would encourage you maybe go through your, go through the rest of your charts and see if you can pick out, the highs and lows and then draw that in. If you don't have the indicator, we'll put the indicator on the website. I also have the daily high and low indicator too, so that would help. So we'll put that somewhere on the website so that you guys can get it as traders. Maybe we'll make a page for like indicators that we like to use, or special custom indicators that maybe we're finding online that people can use to incorporate in their trading. So like I'm saying, like I'm really just pushing the Fibonacci because it corresponds a lot to the Diamond Auto Trade software that we have. The particular entries that we get are pretty much the same or in the same place because it's looking for those highs and lows to trade against. So with the Fibonacci retracement, we totally get it because we're trading that on the Auto Trader as well. And so since those are similar, I try to teach this so that people will get used to what we're doing on the Auto Trader and it can benefit them too in their own particular account. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Maybe we'll figure out what we can do with this computer, see if we can get it running just a little bit better. I do wish you the best. Do check me out on the daily market overview show that comes up here in another like 5.5 hours or so. We're going to do that show as well. So I appreciate your time coming, hanging out with me, learning how to do this, how to do the trading, and learning how to analyze your charts really swiftly. I mean, we're able to do like 13 of them when, just a short amount of time and make it really easy, right? So once again, I hope that you guys have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.